Welcome back to the Clay Studios oil painting tutorial. I'm Gumti Sivasankaran and we are in class 6 of Vidya Lakshmi painting. Vidya refers to the term knowledge, yeah? And Vidya Lakshmi is one of the 8 forms of Lakshmi avatars that are celebrated for all the positive propensities of life, and Vidya Lakshmi is the goddess of knowledge. We have been working on this painting and for a while now. We have completed layer 1, that was a wash on the canvas, and then we did the layer 2, which was blocking and filling. But before that, we did this, planning and execution using grids for idea into the canvas. And once that was done, we did the uh, layer 2. Once the layer 2 was over, it was looking like a flat image. Yeah, so we had to use dark versus light, mark some dark versus light sections to give that flat image a little bit of dimension. So there is something out here, but it isn't enough. We know that very well. So now the layer 4 is going to be more into that building depth, building depth into this picture. And for building depth, of course, details will also go hand in hand. So that's going to be a lot of detailing also coming along the way in this set of layer, that is layer 4, that we are going to work on starting from this class. So we will first begin with the face and body coloring, and the moment we are done with that, we will move to her clothing and other elements, and then we will come at last to the jewelry as well. One thing I had thought of is that you know the the crown itself that I had done is a little too big. And another thing is that when it comes to jewelry, we will work on jewelry relating to her Middle Eastern cultural background, because this particular girl child that we have used is from Middle Eastern background, and I wanted to use some crown and jewelry from that arena. So when you come to the jewelry session, you will know more because I'll have references for you. So there's going to be a slight bit of adjustment. So also at this point, this is also an important thing for us to decide on the kind of adjustments that we want to make to her. And I thought that one important adjustment that I want to make was that the hip and the contours of the hip and the arm isn't so clear somehow, and I want to work on that and make it slightly angular. It is too broad, and I want to make it slightly angular. And then I wanted to show that the knee and the thigh area slightly bit more. It looks lost somewhere, and I want to enhance it a bit here. That is the adjustment. In terms of the hands, I don't see something big. There are slight mistakes here that can be resolved along the line. So this is what I had noted when it comes to the rework or corrections. So that's something that we always think of when we start our session. Is there anything that we could improve from the previous session or not? So I have that in mind. And with that, I'm going to get started with the work for today. And for today's work, we are going to start with the face and body coloring, isn't it? So for that, we will be using skin tonality colors that I had used previously as well. So I'm going to show you what all I have in my palette. It's been there for a while. There is crimson, there is permanent yellow and yellow ochre. I think it's the mixture of the colors that I have already made a little bit to see variations. And so this is crimson, and that's vermilion. Sorry, yeah, crimson, vermilion, yellow ochre, permanent yellow, burnt umber and black. Main colors, I do have some titanium white, and I have been mixing colors before as well, so you can see some variation of colors already sitting here. I'll see if I can use some of them or I will make something fresh rather. So that's the color palette. With respect to the brushes, I will stick to brushes, one flat and one, yeah, brush number one flat and brush number one round. And I have also brushes 0 and 000, and also a couple of micro brushes with me. I see that this will be the main things I will need. In case I need anything else, I will let you know. But when I'm using it, but mostly I'll be fine with this brush and colors. So now let's look at the picture of the girl. Okay, so I want to build the skin color first, and a darker and lighter tonality, similar to what we did in the last exercise. But in the last exercise, I was telling you, if you're getting 80% there, that's fine, move on, move on. But here we're going to move even further than the 80%. So try to get a little more out of this and see if you can build, because this is practice. Last time you tried a little bit, maybe you have reached already or you haven't. Now you know the trick of the trade a bit more, so you're comfortable with the idea. Test it now. So I have taken the brush number one flat, and what I had from the last session that I had made was a mixture of yellow ochre and mm, yellow ochre, crimson, I guess I added, and I had a little bit of white and permanent yellow. I'm going to add a little more of permanent yellow to this color, because this is again a Asian color tonality. So I'm going to use a bit more of yellow to this, and that becomes the darker tonality. So this is yellow ochre, primary yellow, yeah, yellow ochre, primary yellow, and a little bit of crimson, vermilion also sitting here. So that gives me the darker tonality that I need. And to this, I will add a little bit of titanium white to get a lighter tonality here. And this is what I wanted to mention also. Be very careful with usage of um, titanium white, because it is a very useful color. Definitely it will change things, and I might have asked you to use it frequently in the previous sessions, but really at this point you need to be careful with layers 4 and 5, because this color tends to mellow down the real tonality, the real color that we are trying to build, so it will end up looking totally dull. So yes, I am. I'm trying to see if I can mix the color well in a way to get to the lighter exposure. I'm adding really bit by bit. I'm not adding, the total whatever I have of titanium white here directly. I'm adding bit by bit to see if it really helps me build the color or not. I'm not rushing it. I'm doing it slowly. I'm not rushing it. I'm also parallel adding a little bit of um, permanent yellow here. It looks like we are coming close to the color. Yes, really there. Yeah, there with the tonality. So the lighter tonality is ready. The darker one, I think, when we mixed it, it easily formed its way through. So I'm going to kickstart working on the lightest shades first. The nose bridge, the forehead, um, cheek, chin, ear, a little bit of the ear, not too much. Mhm. Right below the eyebrow section, neck. I'll use this lighter tonality also in her hands, arms. Mhm. Tip of her nose, maybe a little bit on the upper lip. Yeah, I guess I have marked the lighter sections now, ready to put in the slightly darker version of the tone. So taking that as well, pushing it in the other places where we haven't done the shading. It almost looks like we are repeating ourselves, the way we did it in our previous layer. But soon you'll figure out that there's a lot of detailing that is kicking in now. So yeah, gear up for that. So take this as a warm up to what is coming up, and fill in the fingers as well. Hands, all the spaces that you haven't painted for the skin, wherever the skin is, fill that in. So you're ready to kickstart detailing. Yeah, I guess I have covered pretty much all the places now. Now I'm ready to kickstart detailing. And for the detailing, I'm gonna keep this brush aside. We'll need it again. I think I will stick to a micro brush now. I'm gonna look at, I need a bit of titanium white that is not totally white. So wherever I have a slight tinge of yellow ochre or something there mixed, um, I'm gonna take that to work on her eye, the sections where her eye is, that is fair white, or yeah. And then now I will switch to taking uh, a tiny bit of burnt umber into black. So this is ivory black, and I take burnt umber into it as well. So it is one tone down. It's not the exact black. So I'm doing the eye again, and now I'm going to work on the upper eyelid, eye contours of the upper eye. Yes. contour of the upper eye, and I'll not work on the contour of the under eye. I'm just going to do only the upper eye now. Okay. That's how I've done it. And now I want to use this color to ever so lightly create a thin eyelid line there. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So that was it. And then I will use the same color to work on the um, nostrils. Yeah. Cool. So that took care of that detail, and I'm going to now wipe my micro brush off to take the skin color to go over the under eye and sharpen that with this. Oh, now I see the error that I made. Okay, that helps. So it has to be, what I should have done is that I should have let it um, have a bit more of that space. Okay, I'm going to adjust the iris a bit more and then wipe off the brush to take the skin color again to go over this space, bringing it on the inner side of the so I'm taking a slight bit of burnt umber now to just accentuate the eye here. Yeah. So that kind of works here. We'll have to do the same thing on the other eye as well because the size now looks different. The moment we add in the skin tone here under the eye, then the whole game changes. Done. I'm going to go ahead and use the same brush to lightening the space a bit because it's too dark here. We did that because it helped us in the process, but we don't need it anymore like that. So I've done it like that, and now I'm going to take a little bit of skin color to go under the lip area to adjust that lip area. These are places where there is, another shade coming there. So I'm just fixing that underlip area. I have done quite a bit of adjustment here, but there's a long way to go with this coloring and tones. Now I'm going to throw in directly crimson, and you might find this white, but just hold on to this. I'm taking crimson and I'm throwing a line here Yeah, and throwing a line right underneath the eye, closer to this section, and also throwing a line here underneath the eye and right here as well, and and then right underneath the lip and such. I guess slightly on the forehead as well, right close to the where the hair is. So these are the sections where I have put in. Also in the ear I can see there's a possibility of using this. So it's really mixing up colors directly on the canvas, but what I have done is to take only a tiny bit of crimson and throw it in directly there. Now we have colors to be blended. So can we start blending here on the forehead area? So take the lighter skin color again if you want a little more of it, and go ahead and keep on blending it there. You'll see the color starts settling in there like it's part of her skin. Yeah, the pinky feel will, from the crimson that you're worried about will gradually disappear. You can use this brush if you find it. I've also I have another brush number 0 that is slightly bigger. That also helps in the process. I'm just going to use it to blend it in. So you see that it is turning slightly crimson here on the forehead, but it isn't that big. And I'm going to add a little more of the skin tone here to balance out the crimson, so it starts settling into the forehead area nicely. Yeah? Wiping it off and taking a little more of the lighter skin tone to throw in on her forehead. If you see her forehead, it starts, looking better. So the same way, we're going to work on the area underneath her eyebrow. That's exactly where there is this there is darkness, that happens in the contours, but it's not black. So that's exactly why I wanted to use this crimson to play around with. Yeah? So all this color tonalities, can you see that it's creating all this effect, but it is not dark using a black or a burnt umber or such. So played around with this color crimson, and I will tone it down also very soon. So okay, let's do this. You see that the colors are blending a little bit. We need to make it blend a little more as well. So let's take a little more of the skin color to throw it on top of it and keep blending that. Then the nose comes up. Really, this is the way you create the nose bridge. Hmm. Slow and steady, nice and easy. A little bit of that on her. Okay, I think I need to do something about her nostrils. Um, Bringing the nostril one bit down will help me in the process, I guess. But that's going to be a bit of a hard task because I just added black there. I'm trying to find another brush that is clean to push the color out and wipe off that section. Yes, it helped in the process. Yes. So I'm going to take a bit of this burnt umber ivory black to place it slightly one bit down versus where we had planned. Because her nose is slightly longer than I had done, so I am going to adjust that as well. So you see that we are correcting as we go. And I'm using the lighter skin tone to push in the nostril area, especially around the section where the adjustment has been recently made. Yeah, and I'm throwing in a little bit of that color on the pink or crimson sections, so we can start blending that as well. So it starts, becoming a part of that skin, but it is still on the light pinker side. Yes, so there you go. And then let's give that pink also on the nostrils to just show that section. That is done. We haven't worked on the lip yet. We are doing the sections close to that. Um, Now I wanted to work on her face structure a bit. This is where, I also had some adjustments from the previous learning. So this is exactly where I wanted the face to be coming out and looking slightly angular and then coming down like this to her chin. The face structure shifts. Hmm. So I have made a slight bit of adjustment to the face structure here. Now I am going to take the micro brush and use a bit of burnt umber first to be on a safer side, to do the contour and mark the contour a little more clearly, because it helps me process the next steps better. Mhm. So that's where her face is, and I'm taking a little bit of ivory black to just balance out the spacing here, negative spacing here, as it changes the look of her face here. And then taking a bit of skin color also to adjust in this section. She's kind of evolving. We have quite a bit to work on. Start blending in a little more of these colors here. The crimson, the way it's in the forehead, it will start fading away, but it will just, remain in the view. I'm adding a bit of titanium white in the nose bridge to help me, balance out things. Also here on the eye, over the, eyelid. So that is helping me balance a little bit here. Taking the skin color also, the lighter one, using that to balance out. We haven't worked on the eyebrows, so it's not still there yet. But this one, the shade on the eye, it is slightly darker, so I'm just taking in a little bit of the crimson and pushing it here. Okay, and also using it here. So the eye is evolving. Let's work a little more on the um, nostrils. I'm taking a tiny bit of titanium white on and throwing it on the tip of the nose, forehead. I can see that the cheeks can take it. Yeah, and also the chin here. A slight bit on the upper lip as well. So now let's start blending them in. Everything is done using a zero brush here. If you are comfortable using a larger brush to play around with, I am saying that that could make things easier for you. So it's a good idea. Proceed with that if you're comfortable with the idea. But if not, these brushes might slow you down definitely. But on the other hand, the benefit is that you have a little more of control than you can, expect from a larger brush. Things start falling into place slowly, though. Hmm? You see that? Mm. And then let's work on the neck as well. We haven't been touching the neck for a while, so let's do that. I'm blending in the colors ever so lightly. And I want to create, because we cannot see much of her neck from this, I want to create a little bit of interest here by shades. So I'm taking burnt umber, going around that jawline. Yes, I think we managed fine with the shades here. Okay. We'll go back to working a little bit on the um, eyelid. So I'm taking this, whatever we did with the eye. I'm going to go and do the contour one more time, ever so lightly, with burnt umber, or you can also try a little bit with ivory black if you are bold enough. You want to try a little bit of stronger shade. I think it doesn't matter. So it turns slightly grayish there, or slightly, darker in the eyelid area. And then you take the lighter of the skin tone and throw in a very single line. So you highlight the eyelid a little bit. So it's all minor actions where it makes a difference. Yeah. So that is done. Looking at her eye, I'm seeing if there is any correction here. I think there is a tad bit of adjustment to be made here. The under eye. Yeah, fair enough. I think it comes out well. Let's work on her nostrils now. Blending in because I had adjusted a bit on her shape, the nostril shape. So I'm just working on that again. Okay. So here you go. The shape starts settling in the new space. I'm pushing the color ever so lightly. Going to add crimson around that um, corner of the nose, and I will just blend it in there so that there is the suggestion of nose ending there. Yes, that's done. All right, she begins to look serene. Now we have to work on her lip, and we know that the lip color we used was to just fill in spaces, but this time we need to work on that. I'm going to take crimson and a bit of burnt umber to do the color again, the shading again, and then we can lighten it up with skin color. So let's take crimson and burnt umber to kind of mark the contours of the lip. And also leave that space of the where the smile is. The smile is. Okay, I think I went a little too far there, isn't it? Let's adjust that there. Okay, I need to adjust that there. So I'm just taking a little bit of skin color to, okay, finesse it there and working on the lip one more time. I've filled in a little bit with that. Now I take the lighter skin tone to blend in this crimson versus burnt umber shade. Huh? Let's blend that in here. So it gets lighter and becomes a part of the skin. Really, okay. Slowly the upper lip is can take, I think we can play around a little more with the crimson, looks like, to turn it better, because I don't want it to turn totally pinky as well. So I'm just being cautious and taking the skin color to balance out the same. And for the underlip, the lighter skin tone I want to use and blend it in here with the crimson. Yes. So there you go. The underlip also comes out. Now we're going to be bold as to take a little bit of ivory black to partition that space in between the upper and the underlip, and also build in that smile here ever so lightly. There you go. Managed to do that, and now I want to work on the skin tone close to the lip. I'm wiping off the brush and doing this again. that helps here. This one needs to be adjusted a bit more. And this side done. The lip is kind of taken care of now. Now we need to take a break from this to work on the hair and also her eyebrows so that we can see a little more and be able to see if there is any corrections to be done. Okay, so now we are going to take ivory black, burnt umber, slight bit of burnt umber. I think that's the tonality we used for her eye as well. So I don't want it to be totally ivory black. I am aware that it isn't the black. So I have taken that um, burnt umber to mix and I have this. It is close to black, but when you look closer to it, you will see that it isn't all black. So I'm just going over the section of her hairline, and I want to do this around her ear also, adjusting her ear spacing because I think I made a mistake there. I'm just ever so lightly adjusting that as well, and I'm creating the spacing here. We'll have to work on the jewelry. There should be some spacing here as well, but we will come to that. So there you go with the hair texture. She's got a straight, almost straight hair, maybe a slightly wavy hair. So let's pull that in, filling it in all those sections. Yeah. And that shifts a little bit on the view. Yeah, now I begin to see the neck has to be adjusted a little more. So I'm going to take, I think the angle of the neck here can be adjusted. So I'm taking a bit more of the skin tone here and boldly crossing it over here in this section. And then we need to blend it in also, those skin tones. And a little bit of burnt umber to darken that space, to give that accentuated angle. Okay, now I guess I have enough of burnt umber here to darken spaces. So I'm just going to work on them, blend them in here. We need, okay, we need another thing here, the crimson to go along because it looks a little odd without that. The blush in her face. There should be some sort of a similarity here as well, so I'm just playing around with that. Wiping off, taking in a little more of the skin color to kind of balance it out here. Slowly, steadily. Maybe I need the brush that we used for the skin tone to do a little more of blending there. Real quick. Yes, I guess this works here. And I wanted, now I see where the adjustments have to be done for the hair and the neckline here. Yeah, slowly, steadily, we're creating that neckline. So the neckline is there. It is still darker when you compare to the skin tone in the face. I'm just lightening it up a bit, but I like the way it is right now. Adding a bit more of that skin color to go. I'm adding some white as well to throw some light on this neck area. Not too much of titanium white, just be careful with that, like I mentioned. Um, I want to adjust the chin area and her, cheek a little bit more. So I'm just going in for this another round of adjustments here. Yes, I think we have the shades done. I can add a little more of titanium white to highlight, but I'll be very careful to just watch in just a bit of it and you know on the cheek and the chin, the forehead. Okay, now we work a little bit on her eyebrows, and remember her eyebrows. I will try not to use the direct black. I'll take ivory black and burnt umber, and in my micro brush, and I'm gonna go for because the way the hair is, it's really like somebody has done her eyebrows or something. It's so perfect. So I don't know if I want to do exactly the same of it because it looks like that, but it could also be possible that in a sculpture also, even in children, you could see some sort of, you know, eyebrow growth in the order in a way that it looks so much like done. Yeah? But I'm being very cautious to use thin strokes to create hair follicles or hair, and not trying to draw a single line there to show the eyebrow. So very thin, random lines there. There you go. I guess her um, face is kind of coming up. She could smile a little more, I guess, but we could work on it also in the upcoming layers. Um, Gonna take a little more of the blush of crimson to throw in under the nose and create that shade there. Blend it with the skin tone ever so lightly. Mhm. So yes, we have the face done, and now the focus can shift to the hands. I'm going to take that zero brush. We have mixed this for the lip color. When we tried to do, what did we do? We took crimson and a bit of burnt umber, didn't we? And that really helped us create a nice tonality that could be blended with the skin tone wherever needed, and that helped, isn't it? So let's rely on that to work on the contours of her, our, the hands and the finger and such. We have worked on these before, so we know the contours very well. Let's redo that really quick. Make sure that it doesn't turn totally pink because it has to be burnt umber and crimson put together. Mm, really quick, going around the contours and also shading the spaces close to her bangles. I'll know that that there will be some shading needed there, so I'm doing that. Mm, really quick, running along. Let's do that here. hmm We have managed this one, and two more hands to go. We have to work on the peacock feather when it comes to the detailing, isn't it? That's. I was just thinking, what is that green space? That is peacock feather. That's going to be a very interesting, colorful piece to work on. Okay, the last hand on this. This is the one where I thought I need to adjust a little bit. Yeah. Hmm. Done, done, done. Nearly there with the contours, and we are going to blend things in nicely. hmm Let's start blending them in. You can take the skin color, the darker of the one, to go around and blending in this the contours, and also do the same in the fingers ever so carefully. When you want to highlight something, of course you can take the lighter skin tone to throw it in that place where the highlight should flow through. There you go. I think I managed to build that skin tone nicely in one of the hands. I'm going to add a little bit of titanium white the same way I did on the face to bring in that light here. Mhm. Fits in nicely. Let's do the same thing for the other hands as well. Mhm. Little more of the skin tone to blend in here. adding titanium white in the places where I want to highlight. Blending in again. I'm just using the zero brush, and it works fine for me. Be careful with the titanium white. Like I said, this is a helpful color, but it could also throw you off the base. I'm just gonna do something here because I'm thinking that the contour isn't right here. Slight adjustment, unwanted space. I want to just knock it off with a white here. We'll fix it later. And you do the background. Yes. So adjusted here, and I think this looks okay now to move on to the next hand. Good. These two hands are done. Let's focus on the other two now. Blending in these lines, contours ever so lightly. It could be, oh yeah, slightly exhausting. So just take a break if you feel you need it. And work when you have gotten enough rest. And good. This contouring is done. I need a little bit of the skin color. By skin color, I mean the darker shade only to blend in with the crimson and burnt umber contours that I have made. And I just make sure that it goes in hand. Once that is done, I am adding a bit of titanium white to show some highlights in sections. Okay, coming out well. Last but not the least, let's do this contouring as well. Right, the lighter skin tone to highlight in places. We are nearly there, nearly there. Tiny bit of titanium white to go where you want to highlight something. Just be careful with that white. As you go along with the painting process, I think you will learn also to get rid of this titanium white. I'm using it to help you in some places, and I also use it the way I do. But I eventually, I'm practicing to try to get rid of it and see if I could, show colors better. Yeah, nearly there, nearly there. Let's just take a quick look. Anything missing? I think the hands are also looking better now. Are the hands looking like hers? That's an important question. Slightly. The answer is yes. It could be better, but we will do that also in the layers to the layer to come, the next layer to come as well. Mm. I see that. Okay. So that really brings us to the close of this particular session, today's session on the layer 4 depth, um, for building the depth for the um, face and skin tone basically. And for Vidya Lakshmi, we are now done with that, and let's meet up in the next class to continue on this journey to work on the other elements in her, like her dress and the lotus flower and all the things that she's holding in her hand and such. Until we meet, stay blessed, stay happy, stay healthy, stay motivated. Let's meet up. Bye bye.